Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to my Game of Thrones Season 8 episode review of The Iron Throne. This is the end of the Game of Thrones series. I make some speech about this being a great ride and now it is at an end, but that's not the case. Even though a series ends, the fandom never dies. The memories, both good and bad, stick with us for life. So, no, I'm not making that speech because the ride is not over yet. Not for me and not for you either if you don't want it to end. The finale was meh. It was equal parts amazing and badly written. There were some amazing shots and bad scenes. All in all, it made me sad that the TV series is over, for both good and ill. Also makes me wish season 7 and 8 had been written better. Oh, and having an entire season of Mad Queen Dany would have been to die for. Yeah. From this point on, there will be spoilers. Part 1: The Walk Through the Burned City. The beginning of the episode was nearly silent. There was no dialogue as we walked with Tyrion through the ruined city, seeing the innocents that had been slaughtered without mercy. And, of course, seeing the obligatory dead girl. I like that the devastation was given weight. During the previous episode, we had followed the horror unfolding, and now we get to see the aftermath. We get to soak in the madness of Daenerys Targaryen. And seeing Tyrion's look at the devastation makes us clearly understand why he throws down the hand of the Queen Pin in front of Daenerys and everyone else. If only he and other characters had that breathing room this entire season. Part 2. Most beautiful shot in the episode. There were many amazing shots this episode to the point I wish the episode and season had been better. As is, we get a beautiful episode with little substance overall. Things that should have been given weight aren't given as much as they need. The most beautiful shot in this episode is when Daenerys gets off Drogon. At one point, there is an illusion of her having dragon wings. This gives us two big symbols. The first is Dany as a dragon. She, like a dragon, can't be tamed. She can be controlled from time to time, but no one can fully control a dragon. She is as wild as a dragon, and the wings remind us of that fact. There is also the fact that dark and or reptilian wings are easily read as making the bearers. Oh, I get so excited about this one shot. I'm like, oh, what are words? I can make them up. Anyways, let's restart that. There is also the fact that dark and or reptilian wings are easily read as marking the bearers as evil and or a villain. The fact Dany has the wings after turning is telling. Now, if only her turn to Mad Queen had been done properly. Oh, God. Part 3. Okay, as we had covered something really good, let's let's talk about something completely different. Part 3. Bran. Sorry, I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I'll continue. Part 3. Bran as king. I knew this was happening due to leaks, but I still had to pause the episode on multiple occasions to yell at the screen. Here's a character who has not been that useful, minus helping to find out Jon's true heritage and luring the Night King out so Arya could kill him. And the former wasn't necessary in the grand scheme of things, except to make Daenerys start to distrust Jon. And why does everyone agree that Bran should be king? Because he has a good story that will inspire people? That's the whole reason everyone decides he should rule? Now, the following is a crazy fan theory that you are free to borrow and or improve upon. Anyways, Bran Stark is the collective known as the Three-Eyed Raven. So if he finds someone else to add to the collective, then the Three-Eyed Raven could effectively rule forever. Why would that be a bad thing? Bran told Jon about the Night King moving towards Eastwatch. That was one of the catalysts needed to get Jon north of the Wall and lure Viserion to his death. With a dragon, the Night King was finally able to destroy part of the Wall. Bran was then able to allow the Night King to get into a vulnerable position so that Arya was able to kill him. Bran failed to tell people about Daenerys burning King's Landing, which then led to some of her strongest supporters abandoning her and others to have more reasons not to like her. When everyone decided on Bran being king, he admitted that the whole reason he came to King's Landing was to be made king, which means he learned of his fate before going south. The only remaining question is how long had he known he would be king? As for Bran saying he doesn't hold grudges, he could have signaled to Theon Greyjoy to wait a moment until Arya could get there, but instead allowed the Greyjoy to die. Part 4. Sansa and Arya's fates. And I just spit at the screen. Oh, sorry there. Technical difficulties. Part 4. Sansa and Arya's fates. Sansa Stark started the series off as a young girl who dreamed of being a queen. She saw all the glory and beauty as something she needed. But she wasn't yet aware of the underbelly of King's Landing and other political arenas. She grew up to be able to stand up for herself and become a force to be reckoned with. So the fact Sansa becomes a queen by the end is fitting. Also fitting is the fact she managed to keep the North's independence. Robb and many others did not die in vain. Arya Stark's journey has always revolved around her family, from getting back to them to seeking vengeance on all those who sought to hurt them. In the previous episode, she turned away from seeking vengeance. As her family was the only thing left, she went to find what was west of Westeros. Ah, good. I thought I was going to hold myself there. Now, I didn't mind that so much as I saw Arya having serious PTSD about everything that had happened to her. So she can't stay in Westeros because it doesn't feel like home now. Now, if only we had seen Arya's decision process, since my analysis of her is merely speculation. Oh shit, sorry. Sorry there, Mike. Part 5. Daenerys' death scene. There was a small amount of doubt in Daenerys' eyes, but not enough. She was fully committed to liberating Westeros and Essos like she had King's Landing, the city she had burned down. Daenerys is a highly complex character, even with the poor writing the show has given us. I think the reason I'm so in love with Mad Dany is due to the fact she isn't hiding from herself anymore. At least, not as much as before. She freely admits that only her opinions matter, and she likes destroying things to the point she wants to liberate the entire world. As mentioned before, I do like the cheesy angst generis. Daenerys is joyous about the destruction of King's Landing and tells Jon they were destined to be together. And the current God. In her current state of bliss, she forgot all about the bend the knee bullshit from season 7. Jon, who has spoken to Tyrion, is in a somber mood because he knows what he has to do. He knows what he has to do if he wishes for the safety of his family. He does love her, hence saying, "You'll always be my queen," and kissing her before he kills her. I do love my cheesy angst so much. Plus, they don't end up married together, which is, oh, that's even better. Now, I do have a problem with Drogon flying away with Daenerys, as it's silly compared to the rest of the scene. Yes, the scene in its entirety is not perfect, but Drogon flying with Dany's corpse takes the cake. Plus, why did Drogon melt the Iron Throne? Did he know his mother died because she sought to sit on it? It makes for good imagery, but it all depends on the intelligence of a dragon. Yes, like Drogon would have to understand symbols, like complex symbols, like the Iron Throne. Like it's like if they're supposed to have like the intelligence of a dog. A dog, I don't believe, can understand the symbolism of a red rose. So it's just like, but it's pretty, but wow. As to the fandom, why are people mad at Jon for killing Daenerys? She murdered an entire city. She had to be punished for that. She couldn't be allowed to go on and possibly kill others. I love Mad Dany, but facts are facts. Oh, and when Jon told Dany to forgive Tyrion, I was reminded of Jorah saying nearly the same thing to her earlier. The pain on Dany's face suggested she was disagreeing with Jon because she was being reminded of the man she loved. Emilia Clarke did say Dany realized her true feelings for Jorah as he lay dying. So basically, us Jorlesi shippers got our ship sailing and then sunk within like the few seconds. Yeah, the show's cruel. The show's fucking cruel, dude. And her aversion to Jon's speech doesn't seem to be merely because of her feelings about Tyrion. Now, as I had to make a shortened review, I did leave some things out. Feel free to comment about anything I didn't mention, like Brienne writing all of Jaime's deeds. Like that was just such a sweet fucking moment. Also, I will have my season review out shortly if the universe doesn't do what it normally does and tries to stop another review from being written. If you follow me on Twitter, and if longtime viewers and you also follow me on Twitter, you'll know that me and the universe combat, me getting reviews out. Like my usual length reviews out, like we battle each other. There's usually a couple tweets at least. Okay. If you are watching this on the YouTubes, please like this video if you did like Mad Dany. Even though we only got one part of an episode with her, and even though the build-up was, yeah. Also, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I will be getting my season 8 review out in a week or two, hopefully. But the universe and me battle it out, so sometimes there are really random delays. things come out of nowhere, like, nope. And yet, and I will do a few episodes of The Raven Speaks on Game of Thrones. I definitely know this week I will be doing an episode of The Raven Speaks about Game of Thrones, but I will still be putting out some Game of Thrones content from time to time, just not as much. So if you still want to see my Game of Thrones content, please subscribe so you don't miss out. And also, if you're on the YouTubes or my Blogdy blog, if you're on the YouTubes, link to my Patreon in the description. If you are on my Blogdy blog, link to Patreon this on the sidebar thingamajig, but only if you're on the desktop version. So there are limits to the blog I use. And if you'll notice that I will be doing a Game of Thrones retrospective, but only if a certain number of people donate to my Patreon. At least 10 people have to donate for the retrospective to happen, and I will be looking at getting some friends to join in, so it won't just be me, it'll be some other people too. And I don't have a timestamp of when I'll go, okay, I'm not doing this. But so I'm going to announce that the limit, the time you oh god, I should really write scripts for everything. Like, me ad-libbing never works well. Never does. But anyways, so on the Patreon, my Patreon, I don't have it listed when that offer will expire. So here's when the offer will expire. Once I have written my review of Game of Thrones Season 8, and once I have announced the release date on my blog, then that offer will expire and there will be no Game of Thrones retrospective. So, yeah. Just that offer out there for anyone. And also, if you're watching this video on my Blogdy blog and watching on the desktop version of my Blogdy blog, please choose the follow by email option. So you will never again miss out on one of my fabulous blog posts. Not only do I do Game of Thrones episode reviews, I also do larger reviews. There's some fanfics out there. There's some long posts about various subjects. So yeah. And well, I'll probably see you Wednesday for that video. So whenever I see you again, I'll see you again, and goodbye.